Hi, I'm Blake, 31, and last Christmas I realized my family never actually saw me, not as a person anyway. Just a backup plan. A breathing utility. A free babysitter who didn't have kids, so it didn't matter. I work nights in a plastics factory, 12-hour shifts, steel-toe boots, earplugs, and the smell of melted resin that lingers in your skin and clothes no matter how many times you wash them. I rent a one-bedroom over a barber shop, cook my own meals, fix my own car, iron my shirts on Sundays. I'm reliable, punctual, and quiet. The dependable one. That's exactly how I became the family coat rack with a pulse. It started with Jenna, my older sister and the unofficial general manager of our family's chaos. Then came Nate, my younger brother, and eventually my parents. One by one, they dropped their kids on me during every holiday like I was the designated childcare facility. Thanksgiving? Blake, you'll do the kids' table. 4th of July? You're so patient with them, sweetie. Christmas? You don't have kids, so it doesn't matter. That line. That was the one that finally cracked something inside me. Jenna said it while I was wiping applesauce off a high chair. She was holding her mimosa like a microphone, joking with Nate about how I should just plan to do all holidays from now on. My hands were cracked from double overtime. My back ached. I'd worked a 60-hour week and showed up with groceries, gifts, and a smile because that's what I always did. But something inside me quietly snapped. That Christmas, after everyone went home smelling like peppermint schnapps and cinnamon, I sat in my car under the frozen glow of porch lights and counted backwards. 9 years. 9 years of babysitting by default. Of being the only adult without a partner or child, therefore the only one expected to sacrifice every holiday, every birthday, every Sunday brunch for the greater good. And when I hit rock bottom 6 months later, they all vanished. See, the building I'd lived in for 7 years got sold. New landlord, new rent, $1, $3.50 with 30 days notice. My factory cut overtime. I ran the numbers 6 different ways. I couldn't make it work. I called Jenna. Hey, my lease is ending. Can I crash for, like, a week? Just to find a new place. Her voice turned soft. Oh, Blake. You know we don't really have space. The baby's crib is in the office now. I tried Nate next. Man, I wish. We're redoing the kitchen. Dust everywhere. You wouldn't be comfortable. I tried my parents. My mom opened the door with a dish towel on her shoulder and a half sigh already loaded. You're a grown man, Blake. We raised you to be independent. We can't enable you. I slept in my car behind the factory for 2 nights. Then a motel that smelled like cigarette ghosts. Then finally found a studio, mold on the ceiling but $900 with utilities. I moved in with a mattress and 4 boxes. On my first night there, Jenna texted. Congrats on the new place. By the way, can we drop the kids Saturday? Just brunch, 10 to 2. I stared at the screen for 5 minutes. Typed. No. Erased it. Typed. I can't. Erased it. Typed. Okay. They showed up at 9:15, forgot the diaper bag, and picked up at 4:30. I got a half-drunk iced coffee and a "You're a rock star." I wasn't a rock star. I was tired. I was broke. I was invisible. And after the 3rd time it happened, after they dropped kids without asking and left a note on a paper plate that said, "Back by 5. T-checks," I started writing things down. Drop-off time. Pick-up time. Snacks I bought. Miles I drove. Diapers changed. Hours spent. Not for revenge. Just to prove to myself I wasn't imagining it. That this wasn't just helping family. It was unpaid labor. And one morning, after a week of night shifts and a Saturday buzz of incoming texts about dropping the kids real quick, I sat at my wobbly table and laid out a single sheet of paper. 2 years. 178 drop-offs. 412 hours. If I'd been paid even $12 per hour, that's $4,944. I'd received 1 Starbucks gift card and a "bless you" from my mom. I wasn't even angry yet. Just sad. Then came the morning Jenna and Nate tried another unannounced drop-off. Same routine. Kids in costume. Car still running. Smile already halfway past me into my apartment. And for the first time in my adult life, I said, "No. Not. I'm busy. Not. Maybe later. Just. No drop-offs. Not today. Not anymore." Their faces cracked like ice. "You love the kids?" Jenna said softly, holding the diaper bag like it was an offering. "I do," I said. "Loving them doesn't mean raising them for free on my days off." They stood there, Mom behind them on the stairs, Nate fumbling for words. The kids were silent. The baby had lost a sock. I bent down, put the sock back on, then stood up and pointed to the table behind me. There was the paper. With the hours. And the total. And a new section titled, "Rates $18 per hour for one child, $25 for two, $30 for three or more. Overtime after 8 hours. Late pickup fees apply. Payment due on pickup. If I say no," I said. "That's a complete sentence." And then I closed the door. Their footsteps down the stairs were the quietest sound I'd ever heard. But what came next? That was louder. Much louder. The fallout started within 10 minutes. First, the group chat lit up like a bonfire. "Mom, I can't believe you embarrassed us like that." Nate, "Way to make things harder, dude." Jenna, "You could have given a heads up." I flipped my phone over and let it buzz until it died. Then I slept. For 4 straight hours. No baby monitor in the back of my brain. No tiny fists at 8:05 a.m. Just silence. Blessed, unapologetic silence. That week was a parade of quiet consequences. Jenna posted a cryptic status. "Some people forget where they come from." Nate called twice and hung up both times without leaving a message. Mom cornered me by the rotisserie chickens at the grocery store and said, "You always were sensitive." I laughed. Not bitter. Just a normal laugh, the kind you hear from someone who finally slept without earplugs or guilt. At work, I picked up the weekend overtime shift for the first time in years. Saturday night, as the machines hissed and clattered around me and resin fumes clung to the air, I felt something monumental, the weight of a weekend that was mine. I got home aching and happy. Ate pasta at midnight. Watched a bad movie. On Sunday morning, I heard nothing. Not the patter of kids on the stairs. Not the knock-knock drop routine. Just nothing. It was beautiful. Then, Tuesday came, and Jenna texted me directly. "We need to talk." Me. "Okay. My place, Thursday at 6. Her. "I can't do nights." Me. "Saturday at 11. Her. "Fine." She showed up alone. No kids. No latte. Just her and a notebook like she was negotiating a raise. She glanced at the table leg still shimmed with a folded grocery ad. Then at me. "We didn't know you were keeping track." "I had to," I said. "Otherwise I was just a feeling. And feelings are easy to argue with. Numbers aren't." She looked tired. Older. She sat, opened the notebook, then closed it again. "I want to say I'm sorry," she started. "But I'm also kind of mad." "You can be both," I said. She nodded. Bit her lip. "You're right about the apartment. I should have said yes. I'm sorry." "Thank you." Then she picked up the paper I'd slid across the table. Header. Childcare Agreement, Family Edition. Subheaders. Rates. Boundaries. Cancellations. Late fees. Respect clause. No guilt trips. No sarcasm. No drop-offs without confirmation. She read it twice. Then again. "This feels cold," she said. "It's a contract," I said. "Contracts aren't warm. They're clear." She put her finger on the late fees clause. "This part feels petty. That part is about me getting my life back." She really looked at me then, like she hadn't in years. Like she was meeting her little brother again for the first time in a long time. "How long have you felt used?" she asked. I wanted to say 9 years. I didn't. "A while." She leaned back. Looked around my tiny place. "We always said you didn't have kids, so it didn't matter. We were tired. But that was lazy. And cruel." Her eyes got glassy. "Do you hate me?" "No," I said. "I love you. That's why I'm stopping this." She signed. I signed. We shook hands like coworkers. It felt weird. And right. Nate didn't bother with meetings or forms. He texted instead. A barrage of reactions like firecrackers. Insane. Selfish. You'll die alone. Then a meme of a cat behind a steering wheel that said, "When you realize you're the problem." I didn't respond. He finally called. I let it ring. Then texted, "Happy to talk when you can speak respectfully." He replied, "LOL." So I took that as a no. 2 weeks later, Jenna tested the line. Paid babysitting. 2 hours. Saturday? Me. 1 to 3. Confirmed. She showed up on time. Had cash. The kids screamed through my living room like caffeinated meerkats. When she came back early, I still charged for the full 2 hours. She laughed. Okay, accountant. Nate? Not so much. Next Sunday, he tried a surprise drop-off. Knocked. Waited. I didn't open the door. I texted. Unconfirmed. Not available. He called 10 times. I left my phone charging in the other room and made pancakes. He took the kids to my parents' house. Found out later he called me heartless at the dinner table. Mom nodded like he was giving a sermon. Dad said nothing. Same old. But something else was new. That week, I bought a bed frame. I'd slept on a mattress on the floor for 6 months. Saving. Waiting. Now I lifted it up, placed it on the rails like a trophy. Fixed the bathroom fan. Mold stopped blooming. Took a walk after night shift, watched the sky shift from factory gray to early blue to pale morning. No stroller. No sippy cups. Just me. Just my breath. And then I got sick. Just a flu. No big deal. I texted the group. Down for the count. Turning my phone off. Do not drop kids here. Someone put a laughing emoji. I turned my phone off anyway. I slept. I sweated. I woke up starving and made toast. It was a small thing. But it was mine. 4th of July used to mean sticky hands, 2 tantrums, and at least 1 sparkler mishap that ended with a singed shirt and a lukewarm apology. It meant grill smoke and sidewalk chalk and some version of me folding miniature jeans while the adults talked on patio chairs. Not this year. This year, I went to the river with 2 guys from the factory. We grilled hot dogs and swatted mosquitoes. We laughed at the boss's car playlist and argued about who could win in a fight, an ostrich or a kangaroo. I walked home under fireworks, full of cheap beer and potato salad. When I unlocked my door, there were no toys in the entryway. No sippy cups. No. Uncle Blake, I peed. Just quiet. And for the first time, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt earned. That night, Jenna texted me. Proud of you. Thanks for teaching me how to say no, too. I didn't get it, until Sunday, when she told me she declined a PTA fundraiser she'd felt pressured into. No one died, she said, laughing. I laughed too. Turns out no is a full sentence. The changes weren't dramatic, but they were steady. Mom kept sending me links to parenting articles like I had 5 invisible children. Dad started texting weather updates again. Rain Tuesday. I replied. Thanks. Jenna helped me fix the wobbly table leg properly. Brought a drill and a level. Mounted shelves in the living room. Then we got takeout and ate on the floor like college kids. She said. I miss just being your sister. Me too, I said. We sat in the quiet for a while. It felt like peace. Then Nate finally cracked. Not in the loud way. Not all at once. More like a slow leak that finally hissed into silence. He texted. Can we meet? Me. Yes. My place. Saturday. No kids. Him. Okay. He actually showed up. Alone. He stood in my doorway, hands shoved into his hoodie pocket. Looked older. Tired. His voice was lower, less flammable. I was mad, he said. Still a little mad. Okay. He looked around at my little studio. The shelf Jenna helped mount. The plant I hadn't yet killed. The shims gone from the table leg. I felt judged, he said. I wasn't judging, I said. I was done. He nodded. Slowly. I didn't let you crash. That's on me. The worst part? I didn't even think about it. I just assumed you'd be fine. You're always fine. I wasn't. I said. I was scared. I asked for help and got a lecture about independence. He glanced at the contract still pinned to the corkboard behind me. You really kept track of 412 hours? Yes. He let out a long breath. You're not gonna invoice me, right? No, I said. I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting me. He nodded. Rubbed his jaw like the truth itched. Jenna said you said something? About revenge and closure. This isn't about payback. I said again. It's about boundaries. He looked down at his shoes. Nodded again. I offered him a copy of the agreement. He actually read it. When he got to the respect clause, he gave a sheepish smile. I deserve that. I didn't say yes or no. We moved on. On his way out, he paused in the doorway. Hey, for what it's worth. I'm sorry. Thanks, I said. We're not best friends now. He still sends memes that don't land and makes jokes with jagged edges. I call him out. He sulks. Then circles back. Mom's still passive-aggressive. Dad's still silent unless he wants something. But something practical shifted. And this is what my life looks like now. Saturdays I choose. If I agree to babysit, we have a contract. There's a start time, end time, rate, and late fee. If I say no, I turn my phone face down and lie on my bed like a king. When I work nights, nobody knocks at 8 a.m. If they do, they leave with nothing but echoes. If I need help, I ask. If they say they can't, I hear won't. And I plan accordingly. Not around the fantasy family I wished I had, but around the real one I do. I keep my notes, not to hold a grudge, but to remember what I've learned. Time counts. Sleep counts. My life counts. You don't have kids, so it doesn't matter. Was never kindness. It was a sentence designed to make their lives easier and mine smaller. I don't carry that lie anymore. I don't do speeches. I don't stage grand exits. I make coffee. I lace my boots. I clock in. I clock out. I water the plant Jenna brought me and laugh at myself for becoming a plant guy. I text my niece a photo of the shelf I put up for her drawings. She sends me back a purple heart. Sometimes I still think about that first night I asked for 1 week and got nothing. It still stings if I poke it. So I don't. I let it scar. It's part of the story. But it's not the ending. But I'm not the same. Because now? I live a life I chose, not one I was defaulted into. A month after that Saturday with Nate, something unexpected happened. Jenna texted. We can't afford summer camp. Can we do a swap? I help you with your place one weekend, you take the kids next? I said yes. She showed up Saturday morning with a drill, a level, and takeout. We fixed the crooked shelf. We patched the drywall above the bathroom sink. We unboxed the bedside lamp I bought 2 months ago and just hadn't gotten around to plugging in. We talked like siblings, not co-workers in a dysfunctional family startup. At one point she looked around, hands on hips, and said, You know, this place feels calm. Yeah, I said. That's kind of the point. And in that moment it hit me, I'd spent a decade being everyone's plan B, never once being anyone's plan A. Now, for the first time, I was choosing myself first. Not out of revenge. Not out of spite. But because I was done being the background character in my own life. Nate kept his distance. Occasionally he'd fling a snide comment into the family group chat like a grenade. Nice that some people think contracts make them better than everyone else. I didn't respond. Mom doubled down on guilt as dialogue. We just miss the old you. Family's not a transaction. Your father is so disappointed. I let those texts sit. I didn't delete them. But I didn't reply either. Let them echo until they got bored. Dad started texting me about the weather again. Rain this weekend. Storm rolling in Tuesday. I gave him a thumbs up. We were learning how to be civil with boundaries. Not close. Not warm. But civil. Which, in our family, was practically intimate. July 4th came and went. I grilled hot dogs with the guys from work again. Swam in the river. Let fireworks pop over my head while lying flat on a picnic blanket. When I got home, I opened my door to a quiet room. No glitter. No goldfish crackers under the rug. No damp socks on the radiator. Just my place. My walls. My air. Later that night, my phone buzzed. Jenna. Proud of you. Again. Then, thanks for teaching me how to say no too. I smiled. That Sunday, she told me she'd turned down an unpaid role at the PTA. No one died, she said. Turns out guilt doesn't make a great manager. We laughed. August rolled in hot and sticky, and one afternoon after work, I found Nate sitting on the stoop outside my building. Sweat on his forehead. Keys dangling from his fingers like an apology he hadn't unwrapped yet. He stood as I approached. Hey, he said. I read the agreement again. And? I want to sign it. Not just to babysit. Just to say I get it now. Or I'm trying to. He actually read it. Respect clause and all. Even circled the part about no guilt trips or sarcasm. I deserve that one, he said. Yeah, I replied. He didn't make excuses. Didn't try to make me laugh it off. Just sat there and told me what I never expected to hear from him. I didn't let you crash when you needed it. I didn't think about what that meant. I'm sorry. I nodded. That was enough. We're not best friends. We're still brothers. Which means we're sarcastic and flawed and sometimes avoidant. But now we're at least honest. The contract became the new normal. I framed it like a house rule. Clear expectations. Boundaries with love. Payment with punctuality. If they wanted childcare, they asked. If I said yes, they paid. If I said no, they respected it. If they forgot, the door stayed locked. I bought a real coffee maker. Not a $5 drip pot, but something that steamed and clicked and made the kitchen smell like intention. I bought groceries without checking my bank app first. I picked up a second-hand record player and listened to old soul records on Sunday mornings. When I got sick, I turned off my phone. Slept through a fever without fear of a knock or a guilt trip. At Easter, I sat in the back pew at church. Mom turned around 3 times. Afterward she said, "You could sit with us." I said, "I like it here." She frowned. "You're breaking your father's heart." I looked outside. Dad was laughing in the parking lot. "He looks okay." She blinked. That script didn't work anymore. That was the thing about boundaries. Once you get used to them, you hear the old guilt scripts like background static. You recognize the cues. You no longer feel the need to explain your humanity. You just live it. Eventually, Jenna asked for a full weekend in exchange for something else, her time. She showed up Saturday with a screwdriver, a socket set, and her own list. She fixed my cabinet hinge. We hung new curtains together. We ordered pad thai and didn't talk about the kids. We just existed as siblings. When she left, she hugged me and said, "I like this version of you." "Me too," I said. Sometimes I still remember the first night I asked for help and nobody opened a door. That sting doesn't fully go away. It sits in the corner, quiet now. Not bitter. Just scarred over. But I don't live there anymore. Now I live here, in a space I pay for, protect, and choose who enters. My weekends are mine. My hours are tracked not because I'm petty, but because I finally respect myself enough to assign value to my time. I water the plant Jenna brought over. I bought a second one. I guess I'm a plant guy now. I hang my niece's artwork on the wall. I keep every purple heart emoji she sends. When I think about family, I think about agreements, not assumptions. Respect, not routine. I'm still Blake. Still the guy who shows up. But now, I show up for myself first. And that makes all the difference.